me unto thee, saying, let my people go.
So remember, Pharaoh said he don't know this power. He said, let my people go. Go ahead.
That they may serve me in the wilderness. And, behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear. Thus saith the Most High, in this thou shalt know that I am the Most High Yahweh. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in mine hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood.
So you're going to hit this water, bam, with his rod, it's going to turn to blood. Go ahead.
Verse 18, and the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river.
You hear that? So I'm going to turn this river has to be really pure. They can really drink out of it and everything. Take care of their business from this river. But it's going to turn to blood. And they're going to long to drink of this water that was pure from this river. He's getting them. He's starting his plagues. Go ahead.
And the Most High spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, take thy rod, and stretch out thine hand unto the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone.
All the vessels, every time they try and get some water, it's going to be blood. Can you imagine that? You got to see this. He said, go through the land of Egypt everywhere, and take your rod. Everywhere there's water, it's going to turn to blood. Every time they go get a drink of water, it's going to be nothing but blood. Go ahead.
Verse 20, and Moses and Aaron did so, as the Most High commanded. And he lifted up the rod, and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood.
Right. Go ahead.
And the fish that was in the river died.
Yeah, they died. They died because of that blood, no water, and they start to stink real bad. They start to stink. Go ahead.
And the river stank.
See? Go ahead.
And the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river. And there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened.
Just like the Most High said he's going to harden his heart, Pharaoh's heart was hardened. Just like the Most High said he was going to harden his heart. Read.
Neither did he hearken unto them, as the Most High had said.
That's right. He said he's going to harden his heart so that he can bring forth these plagues to show his power. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh turned and went into his house. Neither did he set his heart to this also.
He didn't care nothing about this. He didn't care about it. Go ahead.
And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river.
So they had to dig down in the ground, trying to find new wells, trying to find water deep down in the ground to find water, because they could not drink of the water of the rivers. Go ahead.
And 7 days were fulfilled. After that, the Most High had smitten the river.
7 days. 7 days the water was like blood. Can you imagine that? 7 days without any water. And every time you go get water, it turned to blood. It's blood. If it wasn't blood, it's going to turn to blood. It's going to be blood. You had to dig down to the ground. How deep you got to go to find a well to get water? Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 8, verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, thus saith the Most High, let my people go, that they may serve me.
That's right. Say, let my people go, that they may serve me. Now, here we are in America. Most High say, come back to him, come back to his laws, statutes, commandments, do what he say do. And people don't even want to do it. You got a free will. They say you got a free will, right? You got a free will to follow him, have faith in him, to be delivered. Because he said the righteous scarcely going to be saved. Now you got an opportunity to have, I mean, everybody have the book, the Bible. Everybody got an opportunity to be saved. They want to be saved. You got to be saved from your enemies from the hand of all that hate you. But yet still you don't want to follow the righteous way of the Most High. You see what he's doing here? He going to do the same thing, only worse in the place where we scattered now, this day. Our people can play around if they want to. Read. And this is all to get him a name. Remember, in the end, it's all about the Most High being all in all. That's what it's all about. Don't get it twisted about us as Israelites. He said he could raise up some stones to be his people. He already told Moses, he said, look, I'll make a whole nation out of you, Moses. John the Baptist came on the scene and said, hey, Most High said he could raise up some stones to be his people. This is also that the Most High could be all in all in the end. Read.
And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs.
Right. So if you don't let them go, I'm going to smite all your borders with frogs. So I'm going to bring frogs into the land. Read.
And the river.
And don't frogs give you warts? Go ahead. I heard about that. Go ahead.
And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading
Can you imagine that?
troughs.
You get ready to go cook something, and you open up the oven door, and frogs jumping out all over you. Yeah, they coming out the eyes of the stove. You go open up the refrigerator, frogs everywhere. In your bed, you go to sleep, frogs jumping all on you.
That's 7 in Hawaii.
That's crazy.
That's 7 in Hawaii right now.
Go ahead.
And the frogs shall come up both on thee, and upon thy people, and upon all thy servants.
Wow. Man, frogs all over everybody. Exodus 8 at verse 5. No, verse, where we at? Right, verse 5.
And the Most High spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams, over the rivers.
Now look, he already put blood all throughout the rivers, off the streams and all that. And remember, the fish died, so you got the stinking of the fish. Now you got the frogs going on, jumping all over everybody. Go ahead. And then everything. Go ahead.
Over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt.
Say, hey, these frogs will come up out of the blood. Remember the blood? All the water is blood. The frogs still living in there. He made sure they stayed living. The fish died, but the frogs live. Check this out, read.
Exodus chapter 8, verse 6. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt.
So the frogs came up and covered the whole land of Egypt. Go ahead.
And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt.
Yeah, they did what they enchantment, but the Most High already said. They don't know what they doing. They just say, the Most High say, just more come up. But he said you're going to fill the whole land of Egypt with frogs. Go ahead.
Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron, and said, entreat the Most High, that he may take away the frogs from me, and from my people. And I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto the Most High.
That's right. Go tell them, hey, you want these frogs to leave the land of Egypt? Let my people go, that they may serve the Most High in the wilderness. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto Pharaoh, glory over me. When shall I entreat for thee, and for thy servants, and for thy people, to destroy frogs from thee and thy houses, that they may remain in the river only? And he said, tomorrow. And he said, be it according to thy word, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto the Most High our power.
That's right. Hey, you're going to know that there's no one like the Most High our power, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And can't say it enough. That's who he is. power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Go ahead. Verse 11.
Exodus chapter 8, verse 11. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thy houses, and from thy servants, and from thy people. They shall remain in the river only.
Right, so these frogs will remain in the river only. Go ahead.
And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried unto the Most High because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And the Most High did according to the word of Moses. And the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank.
Yeah, can you imagine that? So the frogs died. They didn't go back into the river. The frogs died, so they had to gather all these frogs, shovel them up, put them in piles, and find a place to put them at. So now you got the fish stinking. Now you got the frogs stinking. How much? I mean, oh man, I don't know if y'all ever been to the swamp, man. That's some nasty smelling stuff. Just a swamp alone. You got dead fish and dead frogs everywhere. So it's funky. It's funky where them Egyptians are. Maybe that's why they stink so bad. You put that funk on them. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 8, verse 15.
Now, someone don't believe in deodorant, that's why. Go ahead. And taking baths and so forth. Go ahead.
But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart, and hearkened not unto them, as the Most High had said.
That's right. Go ahead.
And the Most High said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod, and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt.
Now he's bringing lice, nasty lice, on the land of Egypt. Go ahead.
And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod, and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt.
Come on now. Y'all gotta hear what he's saying. Everywhere you see dirt, they were filled with lice that jumped on every man and beast of the Egyptians now. Not the Israelites, but only the Egyptians. Go ahead.
And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beast.
That's right, man. The magicians couldn't do this one. I guess the Most High had enough lice to fulfill all his need, right? Well, he didn't need them to do this one. He allowed them to have that power. Because all the power comes from the Most High. That's why he allowed them to bring the frogs, because the frogs ain't gonna fill the land with frogs. I guess it wasn't coming fast enough. When Moses had told Aaron to put his rod forth, now he said, hey, that's the lice. You gotta look at the lice, they small, so they getting in everything. On every man, every beast. Those Edomites, they be having them lice in their hair, don't they? I know they used to have them when I was coming up. I don't know if they found a cure for them or not, but I remember they used to have lice. They be like, it's infected, it's infected. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Then the magician said unto Pharaoh, this is the finger of the Most High. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Most High had said.
Hear that? So the musicians recognize that this is the power of the Most High, the finger of the Most High that ordained these lights to come out. We can't do it. We can't even do it. Can't do this enchantment. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And the Most High said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water. And say unto him, thus saith the Most High, let my people go.
Over and over again, let my people go. Go ahead.
That they may serve me.
That we may serve the Most High. Go ahead.
Else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses. And the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are.
You hear that? So flies gonna be all over the Egyptians, gonna go on to their houses. This pre-Passover, what we dealing with here. This is before the Passover was ordained. Say flies gonna be everywhere and on the ground. There ain't enough in your house, you're gonna get enough on the ground. Okay, you got enough in there. Okay, once fly out, you going in there and take my place. I mean, it's gonna be continually surrounded by flies. Go ahead.
Verse 22. And I will severe,
Seven.
Slakia, and I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there.
But we was living at as the Israelites, we were living in the land of Goshen. So ain't no flies gonna be there. Sever means he separated us from the land of Egypt so that no flies came into the land of Goshen where we were as the Israelites. 12 tribes. Go ahead.
To the end thou mayest know that I am the Most High in the midst of the earth.
That's right. Go ahead.
And I will put a division between my people and thy people.
There it is. We ain't the same people. He told you I'm gonna put a division between his people who are the Israelites, 12 tribes of Israel, and the Egyptians, Hamites. But we're from Shem, and the Africans are from Ham. Read.
Tomorrow shall this sign be. And the Most High did so, and there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted by reason of the swarm of flies.
You going crazy. Can you imagine that? You gotta see this in your mind. A swarm of flies right now. If they just came in, you'd be like, man, let me get out of here. But you can't run anywhere because they everywhere. They in your house, they in your bedroom. You can't run to your bedroom, can't run to your bathroom. You can't go downstairs to the cellar, the basement. You can't go to the attic. You can't go nowhere because everywhere you go, there's a swarm of flies. Man, that gotta be vexing. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron and said, Go ye, sacrifice to your power in the land.
Hear that? So now he said, go and sacrifice to your power in the land. Go ahead.
And Moses said, It is not meet so to do.
It's not right. It's not right so to do. Go ahead.
For we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Most High our power. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes? And will they not stone us?
Yeah. So we sacrifice all the wickedness that they're doing in front of the Egyptians' eyes. They're going to stone us. Go ahead. That's why he said take 3 days journey to go out into the wilderness so we can sacrifice to the Most High, away from them. Read.
Verse 27, chapter 8. We will go 3 days journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Most High our power, as he shall command us.
Right. Get away from these damn Africans. And we can sacrifice to the Most High our power. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said, I will let you go, that ye may sacrifice to the Most High your power in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat for me. And Moses said, Behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat the Most High that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Most High.
Say, don't lie to me no more. That's what he said. Say, don't be lying to me no more. Go ahead.
And Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Most High. And the Most High did according to the word of Moses. And he removed the swarm of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not 1.
So the Most High removed all the flies. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also. Neither would he let the people go.
Neither would he let the people go. Because he hardened his heart again. He let us go. True Israelites. He ain't let us go, man. It's all Israel, not of Israel. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 9 verse 1. Then the Most High said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, Thus saith the Most High power of the Hebrews.
See, once again, he's identifying himself who he is. The power of the Hebrews, who we are, people. Read.
Let my people go, that they may serve me.
That they may serve the Most High. Go ahead.
For if thou refuse to let them go, and will hold them still, behold, the hand of the Most High is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain.
That's right. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And the Most High shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. And there shall nothing die of all that is the children of Israel.
So he let them know, hey, he gonna separate the cattle of the Israelites from the cattle of the Egyptians. Say none of our cattle is gonna suffer anything. Read.
And the Most High appointed a set time, saying, Tomorrow the Most High shall do this thing in the land. And the Most High did that thing on the morrow. And all the cattle of Egypt died. But of the cattle of the children of Israel died not one.
That's right. Just like he said, as the Most High said, it shall be done. Go ahead. Not one of the Israelites' cattle died, but the Egyptians' cattle died. Read.
And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead. And the heart of the Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go.
That's right, man. All these plagues that he's bringing upon them, he still didn't let us go. Still wouldn't let us go. Go ahead.
And the Most High said unto Moses and unto Aaron, Take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh.
So take handfuls of ashes of the furnace and let Moses sprinkle it up in the air. Go ahead.
And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt.
So now he gonna give them boils on their body. Man and beast. Go ahead. That's like blisters. Blisters all over their bodies. Go ahead.
And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh. And Moses sprinkled it up toward heaven. And it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. For the boil was upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians.
That's right. These boils was upon the magicians. They couldn't bring from any boils. They looking at their bodies. They want to do is take these boils off their own bodies. They had no power to make a move. Go ahead.
And the Most High hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Most High had spoken unto Moses. And the Most High said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, and say unto them, Slakia, and say unto him, Thus saith the Most High power of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me.
Once again, let my people go, that we may serve the Most High. Go ahead.
For I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth.
That's right, none like the Most High in all the earth. Read.
For now I will stretch out my hand that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up.
Say, for this cause have I raised you up, have I put you in power. That's why people don't understand. Get Daniel 4 and 17. Hold that. Get Daniel 4 and 17.
What does it mean, raise thee?
Raise them up. We're going to find out. That's what we're going here to get the answer. Daniel 4 and 17.
Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
The Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, read.
And giveth it to whomsoever he will.
That's why he said he set Pharaoh up. Because the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. And does what?
And setteth up over it the bases of men.
And set up over it the bases of man. He giveth to whomsoever he will, and set up over the earth the bases of men. It's like Esau. The last one to rule in this world is the most bases of all. That's why when you read the definition of Caucasian, it says a subspecies of mankind. When he says Caucasoid. So there it is. That's why he said he set him up, you know, to rule Egypt for this cause. Because he's the one that sets up the ones that's going to rule the world. Now we're in the time of evil. That's why everybody ruling the world is evil. That have been ruling this world is evil. Go back to Exodus.
Exodus, chapter 9, verse 15. For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
So here we go. This verse right here proves why we going through all the scriptures that we going to show that the Most High is doing this for his name and not for Israel's sake or anybody else's sake. Read that again.
Exodus chapter 9, verse 16.
Come on.
And in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
That's right. That his name may be declared throughout all the earth. Get Proverbs 16 and 4. Proverbs 16 and 4.
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. The Most High hath made all things for himself.
The Most High, Proverbs 16 and 4. The Most High made everything, all things, for himself. Read.
And thy, Slakia,
Yeah.
yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
See? So he made everything for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. That's what we're in now. We're in the day of evil right now. But it started way back here with these nations that's wicked. Pharaoh, that's why he say he raised them up for this cause. What do we say? We say it's evil against us. So the day of evil was then, from the beginning of our captivity. Now we're in the last, get that in the pocketbook, first Maccabees. Show you what day we in and what happened during the time that the so-called white man came into power. First Maccabees, first chapter, read verse 1, then jump to verse 9. Get right to the point. The last book. Read that. First Maccabees 1 and 1.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shechem, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and of Medes.
So when you understand the Persian and Mede Empire was in power, who took the Persian and Mede Empire? The Greeks. Alexander the Greek, that's what it's talking about. him coming to power, taking down the Persian and the Mede Empire. Read.
That he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
The first over Greece. The Greek Empire. Alexander the Greek. Now jump to verse 9. Let me show you what happened.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 9.
Right.
And after his death,
And after Alexander the Greek died, the first over the Greek Empire, read, the so-called Caucasian race empire, read,
they all put crowns upon themselves.
because he allowed his 4 generals to have his realm, to rule his realm. They put crowns upon themselves. That's power, rule, and authority upon themselves, read.
So did their sons after them.
And their sons after them. Go ahead.
Many years.
Many years. And what happened?
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
Right, that's why it says they were made for the day of evil. And that's what we're in now, the day of evil. That's why we're going through the things we're going through now. Because it's the day of evil. Right now, when they came into power. Let's go back to Exodus.
Exodus chapter 9 verse 17. As yet exaltest thou thyself against my people, that thou would not let them go. Behold, tomorrow about this time I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as hath not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even until now.
So you're going to cause a very grievous hail. You're going to cause hailstones to come down. Like it have not been ever. Go ahead.
Send therefore now, and gather thy cattle, and all that thou hast in the field. For upon every man and beast which shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die.
He said, can you imagine that? He said, everybody that's out in the field, that's outside, everything that's outside gonna die of the Egyptians. This hail gonna kill them. Big balls of ice coming out of the sky. Go ahead.
He that feareth the word of the Most High among the servants of Pharaoh